Giants quarterback Daniel Jones has officially cleared waivers, making him a free agent and able to sign with any team of his choice. Welcome into Four Verts. My name is Harrison Graham. Coming up, I'm going to take a look at 5 teams that I think could, and in most of these cases should, sign Daniel Jones. But before we get to that, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 5,000 subscribers. When big NFL news drops like this, we're reacting with the video, my opinions and analysis on most big games in the NFL. Plus, we bring you guys college football videos as well. The college football playoff just a couple of weeks away. So if you want more coverage on both sports, all you got to do is subscribe right now. By the way, let me know in the comments, who do you think should sign Daniel Jones? All right, my first destination, the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners are in a weird spot. They're 5-6, but they're only a game back in the NFC West. This has been the season from hell, from close losses to injuries. Now Brock Purdy's got this shoulder thing. It's unclear if he's going to be back this week or not. And look, I don't think it would be that realistic for Jones to sign with the team this week and start necessarily. But I think the Niners could be an interesting landing spot for a couple of reasons. One, he could get with Kyle Shanahan. We saw what that meant for Sam Darnold, who's now having a good year with the Vikings, just being in a building with the smart coach, with the team that does things the right way, even though the Niners aren't having a great year. And two, if Purdy's injury does linger, he could be an option for them. Let's face it, Brandon Allen, not very good. They clearly aren't high on Josh Dobbs if they started Allen over him. So keep an eye on San Francisco. Are the Niners close to just punting on this season? I can't imagine being one game back. They're just done yet. They have a tough test against the Bills this week, though. So we'll see. I think San Francisco is interesting in this regard. It is reported that he wants to sign with the contender. Unclear if you view San Francisco as just that. Baltimore has been a team that has been mentioned a lot for Daniel Jones' services, and for a couple of reasons. One, they are a contender, so he'd be interested. Two, do you know who Lamar Jackson's backup is? Yeah, Josh Johnson, who's like 38 years old and has been more of a practice squad player for the majority of his career than a high-level backup. It would give Lamar Jackson some much-needed insurance. We all love Lamar, but the way he plays, he could get injured, and a guy like Jones could step in, be a distributor, run a little bit as well. I think Jones now falls into the category of player in the NFL, high-quality backup. Would I want him as my starter? No. Could he be a fringe starter if he had to? Yeah, I think that could be in his future. Right now, for the rest of the season, ideally, he's a backup for a contending team. And I think Baltimore fits that bill. If he were to have to step in a game down the stretch and play, you'd feel like you may have at least a decent chance of winning that game. I'm not sure you feel like you have any chance with Josh Johnson. So keep an eye on Baltimore. They have been mentioned a lot, along with the Minnesota Vikings. These are the 2 teams that have been reported in terms of the big teams interested, and I think mutual interest over the last few days. Kevin O'Connell respects him. Why? Because Daniel Jones beat Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings in a playoff game a couple of years ago. The best year of Jones' career in 2022. In Brian Daboll's first year, the Giants miraculously made the playoffs, won a playoff game over the Vikings. Jones played really well, threw for over 300 yards and a couple of touchdowns in that game. It would be a good landing spot. Sit back behind Sam Darnold. He's better than Nick Mullins, so that would be an upgrade at backup quarterback. Now, I don't think it's necessarily a long-term option if he wants to be a starter, but if Sam Darnold signs elsewhere, then maybe he would be willing to stay there because J.J. McCarthy's coming off injury. Even if McCarthy's the starter, Jones would be a veteran backup there ready to go if needed, could be the mentor type for a year and kind of hit the reset button on his career. So maybe this would be potentially a beyond this year play, depending on what happens with Sam Darnold after this season. But the Vikings have shown interest. We know O'Connell likes him, so certainly Minnesota is a team to watch for Daniel Jones' services. All right, team number 4, the Miami Dolphins. Not sure if you guys have watched the Dolphins with Tua versus without Tua this year. It is a stark difference. Now, obviously, anytime a team loses their starter, there's going to be a drop-off, but you can make a pretty strong argument. The other quarterbacks Miami has trotted out this year, whether it be Skylar Thompson or Tim Boyle before he signed with the Giants, ironically now. Whoever, who was it, Tyler Huntley, former Ravens backup. It's been a joke. I mean, when Tua hasn't played, they look like the worst team in the NFL. Tua's obviously back and healthy now, and knock on wood, he doesn't get injured again, but he's a guy that you're always concerned about getting injured. I think the Dolphins moving forward are going to have to invest in a high-level backup. Now, obviously, this is just a 5-6 game situation here, but even beyond this year, maybe you bring him in now. If you like him, bring him back on a $6 or $7 million deal to be Tua's backup. They're going to have to be a team that if Tua's their franchise guy moving forward, you have to have a real backup quarterback. You can't trot out Tyler Huntley and Skylar Thompson anymore because Tua is going to be susceptible to injuries, especially head injuries. So backup quarterback is going to have to be a position they look at. And look, Miami, if they're able to beat the Packers on Thanksgiving, they'll be 6-6, very much alive in the AFC playoff race. So they are not a team to overlook in terms of Daniel Jones. All right, destination number 5, the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, again, it's been reported that Jones wants to sign with a contender. Clearly, Vegas isn't that, but maybe Vegas offers a little more money, or maybe Jones has a change of heart and decides, hey, I want to go somewhere where I can play as soon as possible. If he wants to play and start this season, the Raiders are probably the best chance. Gardner Minshew is out for the year. Desmond Ridder ain't it. It sounds like Aiden O'Connell is going to be back and healthy soon, but is he the answer? Probably not. I'm not saying Daniel Jones is going to go save the Raiders franchise and be the guy moving forward, but if he wants reps and maybe wants to help his free agent stock a little bit next year, well, if he's going to get reps, it's probably going to be with Vegas. Now, I would advise against that if I'm Daniel Jones' representatives, because I think he needs to take a step back here and hit the reset button a little bit here. I don't think signing with the Raiders, who are chaotic and not very good, and just being forced into action is that good of an idea. Like, do we really think he'd go in there and play at a high level? I do not. So I would not do that if I was Daniel Jones, but I could certainly see a scenario where they decide, or where he does decide to sign there. But all signs point to him signing with a contender, being a high-level backup, hitting the reset button, and maybe signing with the team in free agency where that gives him a chance to be a starter in 2025. Comment below which team will sign Daniel Jones. Maybe it's someone I didn't mention. I don't think Dallas will sign him. I don't think Philadelphia would sign him, although they'd be interesting because I'm not a big Kenny Pickett guy, so I think he'd be a better backup for Jalen Hurts. He obviously knows the NFC East, so something to consider there. But drop a team in the comments below when it comes to Daniel Jones. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll continue to bring you guys videos on a daily basis here on 4Verts, NFL, college football, trying to get to 5,000 subs. Once we do, we can do more content. My name is Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys soon.